We are now live, and it is time, so please welcome your host, Optimus the Freakin Prime.
Greetings, universe! Welcome to another freaking hangout. I am your host, the Bumblebee Stompin', Pizza Roll Chompin', Certified G1, and a real freaking Prime. How are you all doing tonight? See a lot of familiar faces, Starscreamy, Alita, Kickbox, Silverstorm, what's up? Kelvin, oh hello Sharp, Brett Former, Andrew, hello. Good to see you all here. Hope everyone has had a good week so far. We're halfway through. If you've made it this far, you can get the rest of the way. We can all do it. Joseph, hello. Oh, Loganus Maximus, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Thank you and welcome to the freaking army of primes. You're one of us now. Be weird and be proud. Those are your only orders. Battleframe, hello! Hello, Battleframe. Welcome. I must give you customary Russian greeting, even if I'm Cybertronian, and that doesn't make any sense, I don't care. Punch Party wants to stab B because he feels like it. Well, Punch Party, listen. I understand your feelings, okay? I'm here for you. I understand. Those sudden urges to stab Bumblebee. It all makes sense. Josephine Medina. Josephine Medina. That's right, I almost tried to, rhyme your name for no reason. I'm good, how are you? Kickbox. Ian Ross. Yes, Ian Ross, Alita is in the chat. I've seen it. I've seen it all. It's okay. It's okay. Just like I said, we've made it halfway through the week. I can do this. We can all do this. Not surprised. Soundwave, I need pizza rolls. Give me pizza rolls to give me strength.
Yes, Lord Optimus. Pizza rolls on command. Operation Delicious Eject. Don't they look tasty? Also, shout out to Creature Cal for the minions on my desk. Aside from Buff Rovage, he designed the other three. Thank you.
Yes, Creature Cowl is a head officer in the freaking army of primes. He's a real one. Molly Dolly, hello. Glad you can make it. Joseph asked Optimus, which mode do you like? Your train mode or your truck mode? Train mode? Are you talking like from Hearts of Steel? I mean, that was cool for a flashback. I wouldn't want to be stuck as a train all the time. No way. Truck forever. Mr. Cool Guy Awesome, welcome to the stream. Zachary, hello. Oh, you got Kingdom Black Arachnia. That is some quality Bobo. That's a good figure. I have that one as well. Excellent choice.
You're just saying that, Prime, because, she's a nice figure with a nice figure, you know what I mean?
Well, that's rich coming from you, Starscream, with your Slipstream poster there in the background, and how you're just an all-around simp in general.
Hey, I am what I am. I'm not even ashamed about it. Oh, Butterfly Spirit, hello, and Destiny. All right, everybody's filing in. Metal Boss DBZ, hello. Wait, is that Cooler? Does that mean Metal Cooler? Was he a Cybertronian at that point? Could he have transformed into something? Maybe? I don't know. Yes, I am a simp. I have learned to accept it. I am what I am.
And you are, indeed, a simp. I have witnessed it myself.
Well, it takes one to know one there, Shockwave. I mean, you're basically the biggest simp there is for Megatron.
I don't know what you're talking about. The bug just tipped $1. Thank you. We need more pizza rolls. And we also need this alert to be repositioned. There we go. Thank you, Bug. We need more pizza rolls as the mainstream comics tears flow. Now the bugs. I didn't read that in time. Forgive me, I only have one eye. I'm a little slow on the reading.
Next time, let me handle that. In the meantime, I shall eject the pizza rolls for Mr. Bug.
Yes, and as Bug mentioned, thank you once again for that, Bug. And as he mentioned, the mainstream comic industry, the tears are flowing.
Doing a donation as a request for a friend. Make Optimus Prime sing 1,000 Years by Christina Perri.
Okay, Rico Gamerboy, thank you. Thank you for the tip. Okay, so we've got a song request. Before we get into the mainstream comic book tiers, let's perform a song here. All right. I'm going to have to look up the lyrics because I'm not familiar with that one. That one's not in my... I'll admit that I don't keep that one on my iPod. I don't necessarily jog to that one every day. So 1,000 Years by Christina Perri, okay. Let's look that up. Give me one moment here. All right, 1,000 Years by Christina Perry. Okay, I have no idea how it goes, but I'm just gonna wing it. And guess what? I know you want me to sing it, and I'll sing most of it, but I'm probably gonna need a little bit of backup. Starscream, you and your lovely singing voice.
Oh yes, I'm happy to help, especially after last time. What was that song about smelling something that I had to sing? Oh yeah, sure, count me in, Prime.
Don't forget me. I have the voice of an angel, and not just any angel, a superior angel.
All right, Soundwave. All right, I'll let you get a verse in as well. Heart beats fast, colors and promises. How to be brave? How can I love when I'm afraid to fall? But watching you stand alone, all of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow. One step closer. I'm just making up the melody. I have no idea how this goes. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years, and I'll love you for 1,000 more. Maybe I should listen to, like, just a bit of it on mute or something. I don't want to get copyright striked. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble with the internet law. But I feel like I'm butchering this, so I'm just gonna look up. I'll just listen to it on mute. Or, well, I'll mute it so you guys don't hear it, that is. Oh, that one piano note, that's enough to do it. Hold on, let me mute the desktop audio. Okay. Test this. All right, I don't think you guys can hear this. Let me just get the You know what's funny is I was almost singing it right. It's all like halted and slow anyway. Oh, did you expect me to do this high-pitched part? Okay, let me get back to the lyrics. Okay, I think I get it now. I wasn't too far off. It's all like halted and slow. This is the state of music these days. Screamer, I'm going to let you handle the chorus.
I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years, and I'll love you for 1,000 more.
Time stands still, beauty in all she is. I will be brave. I will not let anything take away what's standing in front of me. Every breath, every hour has come to this. One step closer.
I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years, and I'll love you for 1,000 more. Because I live that long. I live for like 1,000,000 years. All right, the torture is over. Now that I've emptied out the chat room, that's thank you for the donation. I really appreciate that. Michaela the Freakin Prime, welcome. Zachary says Starscream was singing that part for Slipstream. Yeah, I bet he was. I bet he was. Thank you again, Rico and Bug. All right. So yes, back to the topic at hand, whatever we were talking about. The comic book industry is in shambles. Punch says that was actually good, except for Starscream. Well, we're going to kick Starscream out of the boy band. He's not welcome. You hear that, Starscream? You're out of the boy band.
Well, fine. I didn't want to be in your stupid boy band anyway. Have to learn a bunch of synchronized dances looking like a goofball. You know what I'll do, Prime? I'll launch my solo career. That's what I've always wanted to do anyway, right? Be the leader or be on my own if I can't be the leader. So, if you don't want me in your boy band, just fine by me. I'll launch my solo singing career. Starscream the Magnificent or something. I don't know. I'll be dropping an album soon. Keep an eye out for me on SoundCloud.
Yeah, best of luck, Screamer. Most people in chat are just like, yeah, bye. Oh, that's right. Oh, Starscream. The chat reminded me. Since you are out of the boy band, let's make it official. We have not seen that in a long time. Ah, that brings back memories. How's that for launching your solo career? I just launched your solo career for you, straight into orbit. How do you like that? All right, Delilah, hello. Are comic books really over? This is the first time you're hearing about this? All right, so it's not that they're officially over, at least not yet. It really depends. It's not looking good for you. I'll tell you that. It's not looking good. It's mostly American comics because it depends on what you count as comics. If you're talking about worldwide, of course they're not over because you got Japanese manga. They're killing it. And that's sort of the problem. Or, well, depending on how you look at it, that's the problem for people in the industry, in Marvel, DC, in the American comic industry. It's kind of a problem for them because it's showing them that new characters, new franchises can be introduced and be successful. Because a lot of manga, especially recently, like within the last 5 to 10 years, is pretty much brand new. You've got your few exceptions like Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, whatever they're up to now. Dragon Ball Ultimate Final Destination, whatever it is. Of course there's a few things that are ongoing. But for the most part, like One Punch Man, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, sorry, I'm about to say Dragon Slayer. Demon Slayer, all of those are new within the last 5 to 10 years, and they're very successful. So you've got some pros in the comic book industry, and Marvel and DC, they're not too happy about that. So they've been making a fuss, and the fuss that they've been making, well, that's not making things any better. So let me move down to the reactor room, and we'll get into this. We'll get into this in actual detail. I've got some websites pulled up so that you guys can follow along with me, and we'll break it down. There we go. Okay, into the reactor room, and let's get that first page opened here. Give me just a second. I haven't been to the reactor room, it feels like, in quite some time, at least to do this type of thing. Recently, it's been a bunch of video game playing, Fall of Cybertron, and of course, Cliff Jumper was the last one in here. He sort of made a mess. I don't remember how many times he died, though. All right. So yeah, as I was saying, manga has been quite successful. And I say this is the reactor room, and then of course I have the holodeck background. Can you press the reactor self-destruct button? No. Where's the reactor? There we go. Let's use this one. Punch Party, I know you might not have seen it before. Let me turn the browser off. Check that out. See if you're recognizing where the reactor is from. Funny Joke Man just tipped $1. Hey, Prime, did you ever see that comic where you didn't die in the 80s movie? Oh, well, Funny Joke Man. Interesting you should say that. And again, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate that. I've covered a few comics in past streams. We haven't gotten to that one just yet. But there are several instances where I don't really behave as I normally would. There are times when I don't die when you think I should, as you just mentioned, with the comic book adaptation of the movie. And then there are times I die where you think I absolutely wouldn't need to at all, like when I was playing a video game and I accidentally killed some NPCs in the game, video game NPCs that weren't real. And I felt so bad about it because that's not the Autobot way that I killed myself or allowed Megatron to kill me. So yeah, the comic books are very weird. We've covered a few of them on past live streams, and I'm definitely going to do some more in the future because there's plenty to talk about there. But thank you again for the $1. I really appreciate that. So yes, Punch Party, you can see the reactor if you recognize where that reactor is from. Props to you. Big ups. Thank you. But yeah, so where this all started was a recent article where Demon Slayer, I just mentioned that a bit ago, Demon Slayer itself, by itself, just Demon Slayer, no other books, just Demon Slayer, sold as much as every comic book in the entire American comic book industry. I can't even say it without laughing. I mean, this is what they're saying here. There's no denying the popularity of Demon Slayer. The franchise has broken almost every record there is when it comes to sales, whether they be manga, anime, or film. The hit series remains an unprecedented success, so you can see why industry leaders have been comparing sales of manga to North American comics. But now the question is being asked whether Demon Slayer really outsold the entire comic book industry stateside last year. The answer is not clear at the moment, but if sales trends remained untouched in 2020, in other words, if nothing changed from the trends in 2019, and you have to take into account the all the craziness that went on in 2020, and a lot of sales of many businesses were affected. So it's not very likely that something didn't change, and it wouldn't be for the better. So it says right here, at best, we can assume no change. At best, no change in trends happened in comics in the past year despite the pandemic. In that case, the total units sold in 2019, so this is what we're going to assume the sales numbers were at best in 2020 for the entire North American comic industry, was 83.2 million units, okay? After dropping a million units year over year from previous. So it's not on a upward climb, which means it's going to be less than that. Let's be real. It's going to be less than that. So compare that to the sales figures of just Demon Slayer alone. Demon Slayer, Demon Slayer is published through Shueisha, which keeps record sales of each region distributor. This means we know exactly how many copies of this manga were sold in 2020. And it is a lot. It is a total of 82.3 million copies. That is basically right at the 2019 numbers that at best is what the whole entire North American industry did. And we already know they didn't do that well. So this is why when you ask, Delilah, you said are comics over. Is this, they might be if they don't get their stuff together. Alex Libbins, dear Optimus, if you led the Wreckers, what would be your team roster? Oh, that's an excellent question, Alex. I'm a huge fan of the Wreckers. I love Last Stand of the Wreckers. That's a great book. Speaking of comics, speaking of good comics, Last Stand of the Wreckers was an excellent book. I highly recommend it. But if I had my own roster, I would have Cup, because he's an old grumpy badass. The roster, it would be a combined roster from All Hail Megatron and Last Stand of the Wreckers. So you would have Roadbuster, Cup, Guzzle, Perceptor, Topspin, and Twin Twist. Let's see, who else? Impactor, Springer, Jazz. Manga is winning because the Japanese don't give an F about the American politics and make what sells. Let's hope Japan never changes and Twitter can go screw itself. Exactly, Jazz. Exactly. And thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Soundwave, get us some pizza rolls while I get some water.
Yes, Optimus, as you command. Pizza rolls, eject.
Thank you again. Thank you again, Jazz, for the $1. And yes, that is exactly what we're getting to, and I'm going to show you that because I don't want to just say it. Because first of all, we're not really here to argue. Nobody's here to argue about anything. We're here to have some laughs. We're just gonna have some laughs about this stuff. But at the same time, I want to take a look at this. I don't always look at Earth pop culture. I'm usually watching stuff on Cybertron. I've got my hands full with Bumblebee, always trying to steal my pizza rolls. But every now and then I like to see what's going on Earth pop culture, and let me tell you, it's a mess. So I'm going to show you. Because it goes beyond just these sales numbers. Alex Lemon says IDW Transformers was a great villain. Yes. Zachary, you made a Transformers parody of Star Wars The Bad Batch. That sounds interesting. You might have to check that out on a future live stream. Maybe I can react to some of your own content. Since Marvel and DC and Disney and all this stuff is kind of a mess right now, maybe you guys have some content. I can react to your stuff. Punch Party says, if I cancel Twitter, will Twitter be deleted from existence? That's wishful thinking, Punch Party. I wish, but no. Ian says he doesn't know what Twitter is. Ian, you're one of the lucky ones. Just keep it that way. Whether you're telling the truth or not. All right, so, yeah, I'm being nice saying mess. Yeah, Silverstorm. Oh, we'll get there. So, let's take a look. I wanted to start out here. This is what's going on right now. You've got the current sales figures for the past year, for 2020, and that's with the pandemic and everything. Demon Slayer, by itself, one manga alone, not even counting all the other popular titles like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, My Hero Academia, One Punch Man. Berserk is a long-going, the author recently passed away, and rest in peace to the author of Berserk. That was a great series. Sales were always great for that as well. That found some new popularity with recent anime adaptations. They did like a movie trilogy, I think. I think there was an anime adaptation that wasn't very well received just because the quality was pretty low. But they did a movie trilogy that was a lot better. And so it had some newfound popularity. So you had old series like Berserk and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You had new series like Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia. Killing it in sales. So let's find out why. Let's take it back. Let's go back and find out exactly what started all this. Because Jazz already made a very good point. And that's basically what happened is we started getting more and more of attention on identity politics, or what a lot of people refer to as wokeness, or being woke politics. And that became the focus for a lot of these comics, a lot of the entertainment industry in general, really. But let's take a look and see what Marvel was offering over the past year, why maybe they didn't do so well up against Japanese manga. One single title by itself was able to crush the industry. Let's see why. This is an article from Marvel.com. This is from about a year ago. I think it was March of last year, so maybe a little over a year, roughly a year ago. And this is introducing the new Warriors. They were really proud about this. These are the characters that they were giving us. Screen time. Let me read this, because I would say this as a joke, but this is what it's here. A meme-obsessed super teen whose brain became connected to the internet after becoming exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas. Now he can see augmented reality and real-time maps, and he can instantly Google any fact. Does this make him effectively a genius? Well, he sure acts like it does. Holy I can't even, I would have said that, it's a meme-obsessed super team with experimental internet gas. I would have said that as a joke to make you guys laugh. But Marvel did it for me. This is real. This is on Marvel.com. This was their description. This is what they consider a superhero. Screen time. The name is okay. Screen time the name is okay. But a meme-obsessed super teen who got his powers from experimental internet gas and can instantly Google any fact. He will be so smug that no villain will be able to stay in the same room as him, and he will just win the fight by default. He'll show up, he'll meme on them, meme on the haters, meme on the villains. If they try to correct him, this guy, listen, the fact that it says he can instantly Google any fact, and he acts like this makes him a genius. You know what that means, right? He's just gonna show up, and as soon as like a villain starts saying how he's gonna, take over the world, like, Green Goblin is there or something, I've planted bombs around the city. This guy is the guy who goes, actually, the radius of the explosion wouldn't do that much damage. I Googled it, Green Goblin. I Googled it. Actually, the radius of your pumpkin bombs is only going to take out 3/4 of the city block, not the entire block. So you're a failure as a villain, and you're a toxic male. Now, I want you guys to brace yourselves, because it only gets worse from here. I can guarantee you, I can say with all certitude that it only gets worse from here. Jazz says her head hurts. I'm sorry, Jazz. Internet gas. How does it work? Nobody knows. It was experimental. See, that's the thing, Alex. It's experimental. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Jazz says that comic was a joke. Well, Jazz, that comic, you should rephrase it. It would be a joke, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So, this is the best that the team has to offer. Let's continue on. Let's continue on. Next up, we have Snowflake and Safe Space. I shit you not. These are the characters' names They actually called them Snowflake and Safe Space. Psychic twins. All twins are psychic, but we're psychic-er. Snowflake, a cryokinetic, can materialize snowflake-shaped shuriken projectiles for throwing. Safe Space can materialize pink force fields, but he can't inhabit them himself. The only Wait, I'm sorry, let me read that again. Safe Space can materialize pink force fields, but he can't inhabit them himself. The reflex only works if he's protecting others. Okay, so you've got Snowflake, who throws ice darts, and then Safe Space, who, from what I can tell by this description, does the Care Bear stare. Like, he can't put himself in a force field. He's not nothing that cool. But if he's protecting his friends, when he believes in the true power of friendship, he clicks his heels together 3 times, snaps his fingers, and wishes to the holy powers of Oz that his friends be protected in a pink bubble of safe space that he creates around those he loves. They are hyper-aware of modern culture and optics, and they see their superheroics as a post-ironic meditation on using violence to combat bullying. I hate everything that I just read, and I'm not going to read it again. Chat, are you still alive? Has this killed you? No, Silverstorm Safe Space does not have his own safe space. He creates a safe space for others. Get it? Get it? Joseph, I should get Energonos. You know, that's a good idea, Joseph. Maybe that'll be one of the next things that we make it rain. We can have pizza rolls. We can have nachos. Energonos. I know Soundwave can eject balloons. I know he's got all sorts of stuff in there. Battleframe says so he gets offended on others' behalf and puts minorities in a force field. Pretty much. This is where we're at. All right, so let's move on. Like I said, now I don't know if they kept that in the. Yeah, here we go. Safe Space is a big, burly, sort of stereotypical jock. He can create force fields, but he can only trigger them if he's protecting somebody else. Snowflake is non-binary and goes by they, them, and has the power to generate individual crystallized snowflake-shaped shurikens. See, that's the thing. You gotta know that they're non-binary and know their pronouns before you know what their powers are, because this is a quote from the one of the creators. The connotations of the word snowflake in our culture right now are something fragile, and this is a character who is turning it into something sharp. They're literally edgy. Let's move on to B negative, because the hits just keep on coming. B negative is a living vampire. He was exposed to Michael Morbius's blood as a child, but a life-saving medical procedure kept him alive. So he still ages like a regular kid, but he has all the abilities of Morbius. So he's kind of a really shitty vampire. Of course he's obsessed with pop culture. I mean, I know I'm obsessed with pop culture, but that's the whole joke. These are actual characters that they're giving you. B negative, he's goth. He's a goth vampire with a Karen haircut and Batman's boots. He stole Batman's boots. Then we have Trailblazer. I don't know what Trailblazer's powers are by looking at her. There's no indication that this is even a superhero. This looks like just a person you would see walking around your local mall. A regular kid. The end. Wait. The end. A regular kid. Done. Oh, wait, she's got a magic backpack. Otherwise, yeah, regular kid. Done. All right, so before we linger on too much on this, because I don't want to take all the time on this, we've got a lot to cover. And you've seen the worst. Morpheus's son. Yeah, right, Zach. This is like I said a little bit over a year ago. This is how it started. How's it going? Well, this was an article from about 26 days ago for about a month ago. 8 2020 Marvel titles that never came out. Oh, look at this. Do you recognize this logo? Does anyone recognize what's going on here? Let me just scroll down here because there's a few others that nobody heard about or cares about. Oh, there we are. New Warriors. The series was intended to be part of the crossover event Outlawed. And like New Warriors, that was delayed but eventually never came out. Neither Marvel nor the creators would comment on the status of the series or its future because it doesn't have one. It was supposed to come out in April of 2020. It is...
Trailblazer seems like she would stop crimes committed by jelly donuts. When you gonna make a comic about the adventures of Bleach Demon and Vanilla Gorilla?
Thank you, Deplorable. Thank you. OG Vanilla Gorilla requesting no rest for the triggered. Ah, that's a song request. All right. Yes. That's a comic book I would read. Vanilla Gorilla and the Bleach Demon. Give me the true adventures. That's an ongoing series I would read for sure. Sign me up. And thank you so much, Deplorable. I really appreciate that. Let me get to that song request in just a moment. But yeah, as you can see here, this was slated for April 2020. That was over a year ago. It's not coming out. They can decline to comment on the status or if it has a future. It does not have a future. It's over and done with. So that brings us up. Like I said, I wanted to sort of take it back, give you sort of a sample of what Marvel was touting, what they were saying. Hey, look, this is our new stuff coming out. And that's just I know it sort of seems like a vertical slice, but really you could look at anything. Jazz, thank you for the $1. As an artist, I'm dying inside. I don't draw humans, but this is bad. Thank you, Jazz. I appreciate the $1. And yeah, see, that's the thing. As it's not even about, like I said, I don't want to like argue. We're here to laugh. It's not about if you agree or not. Just look at it. Just look at the quality of it. These things are objectively laughable, and we just want good. We just want good comics. We want good characters. We want good stories, and they are definitely not giving it to us. And so that's what brings us to today, when we have this whole, industry barely competing with one single manga title. Now, you would think that perhaps some of the industry pros, like the artists and the writers who work for Marvel and DC, that perhaps they would say, well, we need to step up our game, right? What would be your reaction, chat? I'll while I get the lyrics to this song pulled up, let me ask you, because I want to get like a basic reaction here. What would be your reaction or your first instinct if you saw that the competition was starting to really outdo you? What would be your first instinct to compete, for lack of a better? I don't mean to sound redundant, but when your competition is starting to surpass you, outdo you, outshine you, whatever, what would be your first instinct on how to combat that, on how to come back and regain your footing and surpass your competition? What's going to be your strategy? And while you answer that question, I'm going to look up the lyrics to this song. Thank you again, for the donation. I really do appreciate that. It's the donations from you guys that keep the channel going. And I know that may sound like a cliche. A lot of content creators may say that when they are either asking for donations or even thanking someone for a donation. And I don't mean to sound cliche, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Speaking of all this like craziness, cancel culture and all that, they definitely do what they can to keep me from being able to make an income. So you guys really help out, and I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to mute the audio for just a second so that I can get the tune of this. Try not to butcher it too much. And, I doubt it would be copyrighted if I played the visuals, even with the song muted. I don't know if this is copyrighted. So I'm just going to turn off the visuals for a second and mute it. So give me just a bit here, guys. Guys and gals, thank you for your patience. Oh, okay. It's to the tune of oh, how fitting. How fitting. Thank you, Deplorable. It's so funny because this is basically what I was talking about with the donations, with the support that you guys do. That's what this song is about. All right. Oh, wait. And then, of course, I accidentally close it. I'm going to need those lyrics. Okay. Here we go. All right, I'm going to switch back to my screen so that I can sing it here, and then that way the others can help me out. All right, so this is to the tune of Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. Well, I shared a thought online. It was an innocuous tweet. I didn't really think much of it at the time. But then a couple days later, I was fired from my job, and the reason they left me was well beyond surprise. Someone had taken what I said, wrote a ridiculous op-ed, and spread it all over the goddamn internet. I came in contact with the author and asked her, hey, what gives? She messaged me, and this is what she said. Oh, there ain't no rest for the triggered. We're easily displeased. We've got hair to dye, we've got tears to cry. Please give me your sympathy. No, I won't let loose. I get my news from places like Salon. No, there ain't no rest for the triggered. Donate to my Patreon. This is cracking me up. Oh, I love this. This is great.
Not even 15 minutes later, I had came across a crowd. It was a protest over something someone said. They called for the resignation of a man who seemed quite patient in explaining what it was he really meant. Apparently the crowd was mad that he didn't want to ban Halloween costumes that might have offended some. When I tried to intervene, a lady lunged outright at me. She summoned some muscle and then began to hum. So now a couple hours passed. I'm walking up to my front door, but from my peripheral vision I could see that a man had dropped his keys. And like a gymnast on trapeze, I caught them in midair and said, "Sir, you dropped these." He turned around in pure disgust. He said, "I'm not even a man. I'm a bi-gendered girl with manly tendencies." I said, "Okay, sir, whatever." And he called up the police. Now I'm serving 6 to 10 because I dare to disagree.
Oh, there ain't no rest for the triggered. We're easily displeased. We've got hair to dye, we've got tears to cry. Please give me your sympathy. No, I won't let loose. I get my news from places like Salon. No, there ain't no rest for the triggered. Donate to my Patreon.
All right, thank you again to Floral for the donation. I hope you all enjoyed that. That actually, I've never watched that song, like especially with the lyrics and stuff. That was hilarious. All right, let me get back to the news that we were covering here, and we'll wrap up. We'll wrap up. That was great. Okay. So, let's see. Now, I probably missed it because I went through the whole song there. But I see Silver Storm. To answer the question, remember, before the song, that song was like your little Jeopardy tune, to answer the question. Okay, so before the little musical break, I had asked, what would you do if your competition was starting to outdo you? How would you respond? Silver Storm is saying, up my game. Let's see. Thundercracker says more products, raise prices, more employees. Okay, all right. Let's see. We've got a couple of questions here. More research. Okay. Silverstorm with another suggestion. Speak with my customers. Find out what they want. That's a good one. Nacho Mama says first instinct would be to punch them in the mouth. But I'd probably just not do what I did that killed my business. Sharp says I'd tell my men to collaborate with the competitor and make better material. Okay, that's an interesting idea. Marquez Films, what's up? Welcome. Thank you for making it to the stream. Silverstorm, you can see my screen. Don't forget. Yes, thank you, Silverstorm. That copyright goblin is always lurking around the corner. Let's see. Kelvin says I would make some new ideas, possibly make new characters. That's an excellent idea, Kelvin. That's an excellent idea. Josephine says my instinct would be protecting friends instead of worrying about cash or riches. I mean, that's nice. Marquez, new sub. Thank you, Marquez. Thank you. That is awesome. I really appreciate that. Jazz says I'd get better writers and get rid of the people from Twitter. Get some veterans that know what they're doing. See, so I see a lot of really good suggestions. Basically, to cut to it, a lot of good suggestions. You guys are basically saying that what you would do is step up your products. You would do research into what your customers want. And some of you said that you might even look at what your competitors are doing and maybe even collaborate with them to just bring a better product regardless of who comes out on top. So some excellent suggestions. It's Godzilla. Hello. Welcome to the stream. So what are the pros in the comic book industry doing? How are they handling it? They're not doing any of what you suggested at all. Spoiler alert. They're not doing a single one of the suggestions that you guys suggested. Not a single one. So here we have Power Girl co-creator Jerry Conway wants to see manga creators taken to task for their rampant sexism and misogyny. Now, this is the guy who created this character here, talking about how the Japanese authors and artists need to not be sexist. Ironic. But yes, he put out a tweet. Go figure that, of course, this would come from Twitter. American comic book artists. This is what Jerry Conway said. American comic book artists are taken deservedly to task regularly for outrageously sexist treatment of women, but rarely do I see any commentary on the rampant sexism and misogyny of manga, and manga is incredibly popular with younger readers. Won't someone think of the children? Now, here's where you have to separate whatever your feelings may be on this. This is where you have to sort of separate it from the bigger picture, what we're actually talking about here. Because he says American comic book industry artists are taken to task regularly for supposedly sexist stuff, okay? Now, he believes it's deservedly so, and he is an American comic book industry worker. So, you know, he created Power Girl, as we just said. So he can speak on, well, anybody can speak on anything, but I'm just saying he has you know, every right to say what, you know, he is an American, he works in the American industry, he has every right to say what he thinks should be happening in American comics, whether we agree with it or not, right? Let me just get that out there. Whether you, me, anybody agrees with what he says or disagrees with what he says, he has every right to say that. Now, to turn and go and talk about manga, because manga is specifically, the word manga is Japanese comics. There's no such thing as American manga or British manga or anything like that. Manga only comes from Japan. So he's talking specifically about Japanese media, which is part of their culture. It's their way of doing things. Now, again, he can have an opinion on it, but to act like they need to be, as he put it, taken to task, as if his view of culture or his, you know, thinking that the American way of doing things or whatever, whether it's his way of doing things or the American way, however he views it, is better than Japan's way. That's their way of doing things. And again, whether you agree with Japan about them, because let's look here. Here's a lovely sample of what he doesn't like, even though he created Power Girl, which is one of like the most well-endowed characters in American comics. This is an example of what he doesn't like. Okay. Now, you can agree with it or disagree. You may say, oh yeah, that's over the line. You can agree, but that's Japan's culture. That's how they do things. We don't really have a right to tell them how to do things. We're not Japanese citizens. We don't live there. We don't work there. We can have an opinion on it. We can say, oh yeah, I don't like it. Or yeah, I do like it. I think it's awesome. And apparently a lot of people do like it when one single title can outsell the entire industry. But that's beside the thing. That's beside the point. Whether you agree with it or not, the point is, I feel like it's sort of wrong for one culture or a person from one culture to say this is better, our culture is better, or the way that I think our culture should be run is better than yours. You need to be better. Like telling an entire country you need to be better. Like that's what's wrong with you. What the hell is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Thundercracker, can someone tell you what's going on? Well, you would have had to have been paying attention the entire time. Jazz says people on Twitter are afraid of boobs. That's very true, it seems. So he puts this hot take out there, and he gets a lot of backlash. Co-creator Jerry Conway dismisses critics of his manga hot take as incels and claims that he was just calling out abuse. And so he doesn't even take the criticism because he received a lot of backlash for this. People said a lot of things similar to what I said. And there were actual Japanese people. Now, I can't show you their tweets, or I mean, I could, but it's all in Japanese, so we wouldn't be able to read it. I'd have to go through Google Translate, and Google Translate's not very good. All the time, it comes out a jumbled mess. A lot, regardless of what you're translating, it's just not the best. But a lot of them were translated, whether it was through Google Translate or someone who knew Japanese. And I saw a lot of these tweets from actual Japanese citizens in response to Jerry Conway's comments saying, look, keep your politics to yourself. Like, that's American politics. That's your stuff. You keep that on your side of the pond. You know what I mean? Like, you do you, we do we. That's what they were. That was actually one of the tweets, and it might have been poorly translated, but I thought that was a really good one. Was you do you, we do we. And that, I mean, how you can't really put it much more simpler than that. And so instead of kind of understanding like, oh well, you know, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they've got something to this. Our sales numbers are in the toilet. No, he strikes back and says that with all the number of angry replies from the manga fans, suggesting that some manga art, basically calling them pedophiles and misogynists and all these things, he says that he can only assume there are a lot of incels who satisfy themselves with drawings of oversexed preteen girls. Way to go. Way to go. Good job. Good job. I've actually got the Twitter and just in case you didn't believe me, I've got the tweet pulled up here and you can see it getting absolutely destroyed, absolutely ratioed. Look at this. 229 likes. Let's go down here to 852 likes. Manga has a much larger pool of female authors and an even larger female readership when compared to American comic books. What's your excuse? Ratioed. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. Yes, Battleframe, that's an excellent point. He's willing to give criticism but not receive any. Exactly. So this is why we have, when I titled the stream comic books are over, or are they over? When the industry is behaving like this, their sales numbers are in the toilet. Let's go back to the original. This is what started it. The Demon Slayer outsell the entire industry by itself, and right now it's looking like it did. And when the industry sales are that bad, basically your industry is in the toilet and it's not looking good. And your fans are clearly speaking out, both vocally, whether it be on social media or through YouTube videos, whatever it may be, and with their wallets. And they're telling you, we don't like the products you're giving us. We don't like the politics and the agendas that you're shoving down our throats. We want good stories, good characters, good art. Japan is giving us all of those things without any woke politics, without any agendas being shoved in our throat. It is completely, manga and anime is completely devoid of any sort of identity politic agendas. And the sales don't lie. The numbers don't lie. It's right there. It's right there. Like I said, whether you agree with it or not, you're free to disagree. That's fine. But you have to understand that this is not what people want. And I've always told you, I say it every stream. Be weird and be proud. I want everyone to be who they want to be. But I don't want anything shoved down anyone's throat, my throat or anyone else's. When it comes to storytelling, to entertainment. And that even if it was something I agreed with, like let's say it was an agenda or whatever you want to call it that I agreed with, I still wouldn't want it in there. It takes me out of it. It takes me out of the story. It ruins the moment. I hate that stuff. I want good stories and good characters, and guess what? We're getting that from Japanese manga and anime. And not just manga and anime, all of their stuff. I highly recommend you guys check out anything from Japan. I watch a lot of their tokusatsu, which is the live-action sci-fi genre. So you've got Kamen Rider, Godzilla, Ultraman, Super Sentai, all that stuff. I mean, it's really goofy, yeah, but it's very entertaining. And guess what? That's just all I want to be entertained. Universal Studios says, please do a highlight video of this live stream. That's a very good idea. I think I should, because I could skip over those musical breaks. So we could have a highlight reel. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right here. I want to thank everyone for hanging out. Lord Galvatron, welcome. Yeah, manga and anime, sometimes it speaks out against that stuff. Yeah, exactly. It sort of makes fun of it sometimes. So, Battle Frame. All right, well, I hope you guys had fun. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here. I hope you all had a good time. Respect to the Japanese artists. Yeah, and that's the thing, is a lot of Japanese artists and authors are female. In fact, Demon Slayer, I believe, is a female author. Or a female artist, or both. Yeah, it's really ironic, right? But yeah, that's a very good suggestion, Universal Studios, to do a highlight video of this stream. In fact, I plan to do highlight videos of all the live streams, or I shouldn't say all, but most of my past live streams, especially the ones that where I've played games with you guys online, like the Among Us and Murder, although, you know, those online VR games. So we'll get highlights of those going, but be sure to like the video if you enjoyed stuff like this. If you want more content like this, where we sort of delve into the pop culture happenings and some of the latest news and sort of, you know, have a nice discussion about it with a few laughs along the way. If you enjoyed that, be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate every single one of you for hanging out. I also appreciate all those donations. I want to give an extra thank you, an extra shout out. Let me go ahead and check that again. Bug, Rico Gamer Boy, Funny Joke Man, Jazz, Deplorable. Thank you all so much for your donations tonight. And until next time, we'll be back Saturday. Be sure to be here Saturday for the special guest Q&A with RC. So there's a community post if you want to leave your questions for that, so be sure to be here for that. And until then, this is Optimus the Freakin Prime, signing off.